Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday afternoon. This is a video that it seems that I made this time last year and this time the year before that and this time about 12 or 13 years ago. And first of all, let me say rest in peace, and prayers and condolences goes to the young man who was found, according to this article, in the backyard of a home in Goldsboro, North Carolina, Walnut Street, deceased by alleged or apparent gunfire. And that man is 31-year-old Larry Maurice Sanders Jr. of Goldsboro, North Carolina. The article is very vague. It's an all too familiar story that we hear, not only in Goldsboro, North Carolina, which is my hometown, but in neighborhoods and towns across the United States. This says that the police were called to the scene at about 10:19. They were dispatched to a home in the 400 block of East Walnut Street for an unknown disturbance. A short time later, officers received an alert from the spot shotter gunfire detection system in the same area. And then it says when officers arrived, they found a man who had been shot multiple times lying in the backyard of the home. The victim, 31-year-old Larry Maurice Sanders Jr. of Goldsboro, was pronounced dead at the scene at 10:48. The investigation is ongoing. And again, this article, the situation saddens me as it did, as it always does, here in Goldsboro, North Carolina, which is a very small town. It's supposed to be a close-knit community where everybody knows everybody. Now, I personally do not know this young man. Now, if I ask about 2 or 3 questions about him, I will probably know somebody who knows him, maybe know his parents, maybe know his uncle, his cousin, whatever the case may be. But I want to once again offer condolences to his family, his loved ones, all up and down my timeline on Facebook. I've seen his pictures. There you see some pictures right there. You see a picture on the thumbnail. He seems to have been very loved. You know, I heard a couple of people I know say some good things about him. So those people say good things about him, I have to take it, at face value. But here's another death at the hands of each other that continuously concerns me. Because almost every day, I get on this YouTube channel and make videos about police mistreating us. People, quote unquote, hanging us. People doing us wrong in society. And I do this almost every day, finding some form of injustice that is done towards black people from an outside source. But yet and still, I try to ignore instances like these. I try to not harp on us so bad. I try to focus on the enemy without instead of the enemy within. But it's times like these when, I'm actually out of town trying to enjoy what they call the holidays. And this is the same thing that happened last year around this time. If anybody remembers last year in Goldsboro, North Carolina, there were about 3 shootings, all at the end of the year, around this time, in the beginning of the year. All of those young men, I think, were like 17-year-old. They wasn't even adults. I think the names weren't even released in those shootings, and all of them did not survive. So I try to give us a pass and realize that, okay, there's outside forces that contribute to this behavior. But I have to say, when do we take accountability for the behavior we perpetrate, the behavior we encourage, the behavior we allow that leads to incidents like this? Now, once again, I don't know this particular situation, don't have any knowledge, but 9 times out of 10, going off history, going off what I know, the perpetrator who did this to this young man, who took this young man away from his family, his loved ones, maybe his children during the holidays, is probably somebody who looked like him. Now, we all saw the shootings all through the year where numerous people have lost their friends, their loved ones, their sons, their uncles, their brothers. There was a stretch back in the summer where, there was a shooting and a deceased person like probably every other day. And we all came to, or we all, mourn those losses. And yeah, it's sad, it's sad, it's sad. Sad, it's sad, it's sad. And everything got quiet until now. And there's been a couple of more later on in the year. But at what point do we take accountability for what we do to ourselves and quit blaming it on the street code or the street life, or that's just the way it is? Because of course by now, and of course by now somebody knows who did this to this young man. Now, whether or not that person is going to be held accountable is up for grabs, because we know soon as that person who was responsible for Mr. Sanders' demise, soon as that person is identified as your cousin, your friend, your nephew, it is protocol to protect them, no matter if he took a life, or no matter if they robbed, or they stole, or they broke into something. That is our protocol. That regardless of the fact that this young man took a life, and not just in this situation, but in all the situations we've known throughout the time, not only in my neighborhood of Goldsboro, but across the land, anybody who's listening to this, we're going to always scream, oh, free him, until it's backwards, or free her until it's backwards, which is a slap in the face to the family and the life that is lost. And also it's the slap in the face to future lives that are lost. It's a slap in the face to you and me and everybody who's supposed to hold this sanctity of black life to a higher standard. That same black life that we get mad when police stuff out, when police throw out in the car, when police beat unmercifully injustice, or when some white supremacist, hangs them from a tree. That same black life. And I used to get mad when people would equate it to that. But what else can we do to get us to see that we have become willing participants in our own destruction on so many levels, promoting this way of life, walking around with the sticks and the blicks and the extendos, and who we using them on? Everybody who looks like us. But when somebody comes into your neighborhood and does you wrong that don't look like you, you forget how to use it. You forget how to use it. Like, somebody I know probably is going to get mad at this video. Even though I have not denigrated the young man, I've shown respect to him. Somebody's going to find a way to make me the bad guy for speaking out against us killing each other. Make it make sense. That is the self-hatred that we have for one another when someone tries to call out this self-destructive behavior. No matter who is doing it, no matter who it affects, we got to call it out around the horn. That is self-hatred when we hate someone who's trying to hold us accountable for destructive behavior. So here we are. We have to end the year off. A family has to end the year off, having to make arrangements for this young man who apparently a lot of people love. I'm looking at it. I can show you posts all up and down my timeline. People are, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Oh my God, not my guy. Oh my God, I'm hurt. I was just looking forward to hollering at you today. So evidently he was an okay guy. And so now there's someone possibly on the loose, possibly known, but we're going to step back and take our hands off the situation. Well, it don't concern me. Everything concerns you. The children who have to hear about this in the community, it concerns. It affects them. The children who are going to talk about it, in the neighborhood. Somebody got killed over there. It affects them. We don't think it does. All of the shootings in the neighborhoods where kids have to duck down in the bed, afraid to go outside, afraid to go to school, afraid to play outside. All of those affect us, affect them, making them desensitized to life. So when they get 17 to 18, it's nothing because this what's been happening all my life. So it's, black life don't matter. It only matters when somebody else takes our lives. But it doesn't matter when we do the same. And, like this, this time last year, I think I was making a video the same way. 10, 12 years ago. It's called, if you go back to the YouTube page, it's called A Message to the Streets of Goldsboro. The same message. The same message. So, once again, rest in peace to the young man. Hopefully, this doesn't set off a chain of events like we saw during the summer. Hopefully, the person who is responsible for this get brought to justice. Hope this family gets closure. Unlike so many other families who are still looking for the person who took their loved one's life. And so once again, my heart and prayers goes out to not only this man's family, but all the other families who have been victims of this senseless violence, not only all through 2024, but all the years before that in this little town of Goldsboro, North Carolina. And not only in our town, but in your town, wherever you're watching from. But when are we going to come to the realization that we've been willing participants in our own destruction? And I would be hypocritical if I get up here every day and talk about injustice in the courts, injustice with the police, injustice by white supremacists, injustice through racism, if I don't address injustice or racism we have towards our own people. Hatred that we have towards our own people. Fratricide that we have towards our own people. Genocide that we commit against our own selves. And we get out in the street and glorify it and make t-shirts and release balloons and celebrate it like a young man, 31-year-old, doesn't supposed to grow to my age, 46 and older. 70 is what the Bible say. A man's time on the earth is 70 years, if by reason of favor, 80 years. But the Bible says in the last days, a man's enemies shall be those of his own household. And it's not talking about the particular house you live in, but the household, like the nation, the community, the race, the connection of people, the ethnogenesis, the ethnicity. Our household, the black household. We are. Why are we so against each other? I can't. You know, why do we have that? We have no smoke for nobody else. But soon as your brother do something, we got all the smoke. And it's time out for that, man. It's time out for that, man. May the young man rest in peace. May his family, receive justice. Some sort of comfort and peace as could be expected. Nobody wants to wake up to this. And so, my heart and prayers goes out to everybody, the family of Mr. Larry Maurice Sanders and all of those who loved him. But yeah, man, we got to hold each other accountable, man. Put down those, what are we walking around our own neighborhoods carrying guns that we're only going to use on each other? But we won't use them on nobody else. That's unheard of. So what's really gangster? What's really gangster? Not that. Not killing somebody who looks like you because it's easy. Well, there's a whole system in place to hold you down, me down, us down. And we're perpetuating that system where the system don't even have to operate no more. We run the system on each other. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. 919-587-7782. Peace and love. Y'all have a blessed day.